Hey guys, welcome back. This is update 2 on my Whitey 1956 Les Paul Jr. replica build. If you've seen the previous video, you already know that I wrapped up the paint and clear coat and even started aging some parts such as the pickguard, knobs and tuners. But then I never really started relicing the actual guitar. The reason for that is I kinda liked the clean white look and I was kind of scared to start chipping away and maybe messing up the whole finish. But then after a few weeks, the first small scratches and marks started to appear naturally and it kind of broke the seal for me. That's when I finally felt ready to start the relic process. Now let's talk about the top of the guitar. Billie's original Whitey doesn't look that heavily aged from afar, especially when you compare it to Blackie. It just has a really discolored look, and once you get closer you'll start noticing all the small dings, the fine checking, and some subtle wear on the armrest and around the pick area. That's exactly what I wanted to capture here. I started with the armrest area first because that's the hardest part to get right. On Billie's guitar you can clearly see the layers where the finish has worn away. The exposed wood, the pale white base coat, and then the yellowed clear coat fading over. It's such a cool detail and I really wanted mine to have that same kind of detail. After that, I started working my way around the top edge, carefully chipping and removing small pieces of paint to match the wear patterns. Once the main areas were done, I added a bunch of tiny dings and dents across the surface and introduced some checking to tie everything together. I'm using a UV light to amber the clear coat. It's a slow process and it hasn't reached the level of discoloration I was hoping for just yet. Whenever I have some free time, I put it back under the UV light to keep the process going. Moving over to the headstock, Billie's guitar has a ton of fine lacquer checking. To recreate that, I used several free cycles and temperature shocks, which caused the nitro finish to crack. Once I got that subtle web of lines, I added some wear along the sharper edges of the headstock, and finally I dulled the finish to match Billie's. Moving over to the back of the guitar, Billie's original has a crazy amount of buckle rash. Even in the earliest photos you can already see a lot of wear, and over the years it's spread out even more. Some spots just have the lacquer checked and cracked away, while in others the paint and clear coat are completely worn through right down to the wood. There is also that distinct black wear mark, almost like something rubber or plastic was dragged across the finish and left a stain. I made sure to include all those little details on mine. To recreate that, I started chipping away very carefully, using a few fine tools and an X-Acto knife. Just taking off small bits of paint at a time to build up the authentic pattern. To mimic the drag mark, I actually used the sole of a shoe and quickly wiped it over the finish. I knew it wouldn't stay on its own, so I sealed it with a light layer of nitrocellulose clear coat to preserve the mark. I used a mix of different relicing techniques across the back and then protected the exposed wood with a little thread oil. Last but not least, I gave the back of the neck the relic treatment. Using a combination of very sharp blades and 2000 grit wet sandpaper, I carefully removed the paint in the right areas until the feel matched the real thing. Once that was done, I brought back just a bit of shine with some polishing compound, and I gotta tell you, when you're playing the guitar you don't really notice it at all. And that basically wraps up for this video. I know I didn't film the steps of the relic process, but honestly, this whole thing was done in small free moments whenever I found the time. But no worries, I've got 2 new projects coming up soon. I'll be building a replica of Blackie and the TV model Junior that Billie used during the 21st Century Breakdown tour. So definitely stay tuned for those, they're gonna be a lot of fun.